Welcome to No Stats, where we call it how we see it. Peach, what's going on, man? Why you got why you got a trash bag on, bro?
Bro, I woke up this morning, you know what I realized? It's another off season of
Mm-hmm.
defending Kevin Durant. And I don't think I have the energy or the time for the shit. This is a physical representation of the Phoenix Suns. I could be whoever you want. I could be DeAndre Ayton. I could be Kevin Durant, the whole damn playoff damn near. I could even be Monty Williams because of the adjustment parts. But I am trash, a physical representation of the Phoenix Suns. Cause this shit is crazy.
You don't got a trash bag on.
These niggas is trash, man. Like, oh,
I thought you was trying to lose weight or something.
I'm getting ready for a boxing match, bro.
Man, yeah, bro,
Oh
that's
man,
bad, man. That's bad. I
we,
mean,
I expected more, but before I go on my rant, bro, just take me through some of your thoughts of the game six yesterday, bro.
all right, I am, but I'm not looking at you, bro, because I ain't gonna be able to get through the take. Nah, I don't think it's much to say. It was an ass whipping. Um, Denver looked like the better team all series, really. Devin Booker had to be phenomenal, and Kevin Durant had to be really good for them to get a win. I mean, Booker was shooting at a ridiculous percentage through those first, I want to say, 4 games. Came back down a little bit. Um, I want to give apology and a special shout out to Nikola Jokic, bro.
I was waiting for that, but
'Cause he been on a tear, bro. He been carrying that team, doing you know everything. Well, thank you for taking that off.
I was getting hot.
No, but he been doing everything that a leader's supposed to do on a championship caliber team. So hats off to him. I mean, he's proven it. Like I said, I gotta see it. I've been saying that. You gotta show me. You got to knock off Phoenix for me to tip my hat. They did that. They're in the Western Conference Finals, and they're in a good spot. I'm
Mhm.
pro Laker, but they can beat the Lakers. And we're seeing Golden State looking vulnerable. So it's a chance. It's a very high chance that they can get to the um, NBA Finals. So I got to pay respect where it's due. On the other end of the spectrum, I agree. Monty Williams needs to get it together. That 2 years in a row, the way they ended, or last 3 years, I want to
losing
say, right?
losing in that fashion. I mean, they blew a 2-0 lead versus the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Had a meltdown, gave up 4 straight games. Then last year got their ass whipped again on their home floor by the Mavericks. Then the same shit yesterday, man. It's like,
Yeah.
and in a
Yeah.
nutshell, I was going back and forth with a couple of my anti Durant fans last night on Twitter, and I was just telling guys, if you look at this as a whole, you put this team together on a fly, you gut your roster, you deplete your bench. To go all in on Kevin Durant, and I just think the move was done too late in the season. I think this was something that should have been done in the beginning of the season, or could have waited to the off season. And
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of people saying like, you know, Kevin Durant picked this squad. Why did Kevin Durant leave Brooklyn? And I'm trying to clarify to people that Kevin Durant got traded. This was not a free agency
Right.
move. Once Kyrie told the Brooklyn Nets that he was not gonna sign that extension or whatever that was going on, that he wasn't getting the
Mm-hmm.
ballpark number that he wanted. I felt like the Nets wanted to go in a different direction then, and then they made, obviously talked to Kevin Durant to figure out what teams he would, love to play for and stuff like that. But I just don't want to hear all off season. Kevin Durant built this team again.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying?
I'm,
So,
I'm over um the Kevin Durant thing. Listen, Kevin Durant's a great player. All time player, top 15, all time. Um, I don't, I think you can kind of argue it, but he's submitted. His talent, what he brings to the game of basketball, um, his career. But if we're gonna, me, you know how I am with LeBron. I feel like it's scrutiny at the highest level every time Brian does something. And when
Absolutely.
KD gets knocked, although these media heads will repeatedly say Kevin Durant's the best player in the world, Kevin Durant's the best player in the world, but when he comes short, they don't give him the same criticism that LeBron, who technically I guess you're saying isn't the best player in the world, gets. I don't understand that. These guys give him a pass. So, and I get it, but at the same time, you gotta show us something. Like if you want to be, and I know KD just want to hoop, but if people want to compare him to some of the greats and something, and LeBron and Jordan and those dudes, that all's fair. You know what I mean? And war, and you haven't been producing these last
He
couple years
hasn't.
outside of Golden State. It's going to get to the point where at the end of his career, people are going to use that argument. If he don't go to Golden State, Durant has no rings. He's just Carmelo Anthony. He just scores a bunch of points, more efficient than Melo, but you know what I mean. So that's going to become
Absolutely.
the narrative. And if KD can just pay that no mind, I'm over it. The
It's just
KD.
so hard. It's so hard because, bro, you hit the nail on the head, bro. Like, without that, Golden State run, um, what does he really have to show for everything besides, a MVP? He has multiple scoring titles,
A final
um,
appearance.
a final appearance, but it's just the pedestal that we put a player like Kevin Durant on. We expect a lot more, and I mean, come on, man. I'm like the biggest Kevin Durant fan, and it's just so hard for me, like to see him go through shit like this. The sweep last year in Boston, we couldn't get one
Yeah,
game, bro.
I know. Question for you, bro. I don't mean to
One.
cut you off, but I need to know the answer from you um, for this question. These last 2 years, I won't even just put this year on it. Has Kevin Durant? I know he's still your favorite player, but has he fallen on that all-time list chart or list? You know what I mean?
I
Like, do you take a
so
step back and go, okay, he's still a great player, but maybe you had higher expectations.
I had way more higher expectations from him. But what also goes in, two things goes into this. One, what I measure the all time list by. So I think it's a combination of your skill, your accolades, but then you got different bars or meters of what you feel. So
Yeah.
KD's a phenomenal scorer, very efficient, 6'10", long, artist when it comes to being on the basketball court. But he lacks leadership intangibles that those great players had to lead a squad, to get to
Hmm.
certain places in your career, and I think that's what holds him back. Um, but also, I think that we need to also see the game for what it is, and see that the way the league is going, it's getting better, bro. Like, it's getting better.
It
The, the
is.
the the playing field is getting more leveled. I was saying this the other day, like, before, and I know we didn't get to the Sixers yet, but um this year is looking right now, where we at in the playoffs, is looking real good for the Sixers and the Nuggets to actually win a title. Like, that's
Hmm.
crazy to really
Yeah.
think. Like, um, but yeah,
And
he's dropped
yeah,
Kevin Durant.
and in all fairness, before we even did our predictions, we were kind of talking about the Suns and KD, and I was saying this year for me isn't that big of a deal coming in so late, trying to get the team to gel. Everyone thinks it's going to be easy because of the names and because of KD's style of play, right? It is easy to adapt to any offense or any team for that matter because he doesn't need the ball that much and things like that. I thought they would at least get. I thought Western Conference Finals, even if you lose in the Western Conference Finals, was good. I thought that was the minimum. So the fact that he lost before that to a team that I didn't particularly have a lot of respect for, to be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah, until they showed me something, like I said. So I think that's a ding, even with him coming on late. But for me, this really doesn't change my outlook on KD. He's still a great player. I'm not too high, not too low on KD. Um, Great player, one of the all-time greats. But back to the drum. I just want to see him stay in Phoenix, man. I
Yeah,
I
build
want to see
something.
what's
I
from
think
him.
I think Phoenix has a very, very important
Yeah.
offseason this year. As far as like, I think you have to move on from Chris Paul, get younger in that backcourt a little bit, put more complementary pieces around Booker and KD. If you're
Hmm.
gonna keep Aiton this offseason, they have to learn how to incorporate him in the offense to keep him engaged. Because when CP3 went out, Aiden touches went down. Like at least CP3 was hitting him on the pick and rolls. And I know when
Hmm.
Aiden gets the ball, he's not exactly the threat that he needs to be. He's timid.
Right.
He's thinking too much and shit. But if I'm running up and down the floor for 8, 9 possessions straight, and you're not even letting me feel the shit or like get it and go dribble handoff, I can see where the lack of effort drops off at. Cause it's like, yo, I'm not a track runner.
Right.
I'm here to hoop. Like, can I get a touch? And you saw it to where like, and it's a lot of things that goes into it as far as like, losing trust of your role players. And I felt like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker showed that in this series to where like, all right, we're just gonna go out here and get 35, 40, and we're not
Right.
gonna trust these other guys. But can you blame them because the production from the other guys wasn't
Hasn't been there.
shit?
And that's what I
Yeah.
was about to say, bro. With Aiton, like you were saying, he want to be fed. You got to understand your role, and maybe if that's how he's feeling, maybe it's time to move on for him, right? From him, because this is playoff basketball. We know who the stars are. Like you said, you haven't been producing. If you're not getting the ball and you can't put the ball in the basket, contribute in other ways. How about playing some defense on Jokic? How about grabbing some boards? How about firing the team up? Doing some of the things a guy like, and I'm not, and he's way more talented on the offensive end than PJ Tucker. But how about you take on some of those, those small tasks? When we played college basketball, we always saying do the little things.
Do the
You know
little
what I mean?
things. Shout out
And he,
Fozzie.
yeah, and he could have embraced that a little more, saying I have a chance to get to a finals run. And even if he did want to leave, if he would have did those little things and been on the championship team, if he wanted to leave and get a bigger contract, maybe he, could have. But I don't know, man. I don't know if Phoenix would want to move forward with him. The problem you have is how do you replace a big man when it's they're so far and in between. It's hard to find good bigs
Absolutely.
in this league. So
It was a
like
lot
you
of
said,
it was a lot of mismatches out there that I seen, bro. That I'm like, damn, like you guys, y'all not gonna trust him in that situation. He got Jamal Murray on his back. Jamal Murray's fronting him. They not, bro. I done seen it, and I'm a better. The first couple games, I would say games 2, 3, 4, and maybe he sat out. No, he played 5. Um,
mhm.
I was taking the over on his points, and it was just like a lot of opportunities where I was like, damn, they could have fed Da on that play, but um, they definitely got to figure out, what they're gonna do going forward. To get his mind in it seemed like his mind's been up and down. I don't know what type of relationship him and Monty Williams got. I always think they're on the outskirts, and then they look like they're fine, and then
Right.
I don't know, man. Big off season though for Phoenix.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Your Sixers, man. Big opportunity at the crib in a huge game 6.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Tatum just, I don't know what the hell was going on them first 3 quarters, man, but for him to come alive in that fourth quarter, score 16 points to will his team to victory, that took all the momentum out of
It
Wells
did.
Fargo Center, and I think it
It
took
did.
all the momentum out of Philly, man. What
I'm
you what
afraid
you
so
think,
too.
bro?
I'm afraid so too, bro. But as great um and confident Jason Tatum was in that fourth quarter, because to have that kind of game, you have to be confident in yourself that it don't matter. I'm the best player on this court. I know I'm 1 for 10, but I'm gonna get it together. Just trust me, I got it. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of dudes
Hmm.
that has that attitude. Um, they kind of lose that confidence when they have a bad performance like that. But as great as Tatum was in the fourth, it's the Sixers' fault. Shut the door.
Absolutely.
What were they? I think they were up. They were up something with like 5 minutes left, 6 or 8. Um, but you got to give it to your dogs. And if he want to come down and score, you just go basket for basket. You got the lead. Just protect the lead and slam that door. And that's the Sixers' problem, bro. As for the longest since I've been watching the Sixers, since was going to the games, you know, often. It was just like they couldn't shut the door. And I tell you what, if they lose this game 7, Doc Rivers' job is. as
Over.
good as over. Yeah, because you can't keep doing this, man. Like we up 3-2, we're in a position to shut the door, and we're at home. There's no excuses, and we're up with 5 minutes left. Close the
And it
door.
absolutely. And I didn't think the Sixers started that game how they should have been starting.
No,
I think you
85
got to
points.
come on, man. And then for the star of the Celtics, Jason Tatum, to be struggling like that, I think you have to capitalize on
Mm-hmm.
situations like that,
Yes,
man. And this window, man, that window, I don't know, like if they lose, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Boston takes this in 7. I don't think
me
Philly
too.
wins in Boston. It's sad to say.
Yeah,
Um, I think the they were supposed to secure this at the crib. But who knows? It's gonna be a phenomenal game.
hmm
Um, what direction do you go in after this, man? Like,
yeah. I don't know, bro. There's talks that Harden might be on the move, might go back to Houston. It's been a lot of murmurs about that. Um, I don't know. I don't know where Maxi's at with his contract, but you're going to pay him really soon. Tobias Harris already got the practice facility, so you
I knew that was coming.
so you got to figure some things out, bro. Embiid had another year on his body. He's already hurt, right? He's playing hurt, so does he have to get surgery? Um, I don't know, bro. That's why I think they have to change some things up. They have to figure something out because this isn't going to last that long. And as crazy as this sound, ready for this hot take?
Hmm.
I don't know if MVP's ever been traded the year afterwards, but if you have to, bro, this is the way my mind works as a GM, man. And I think this is why, switching sports, but guys like Bill Belichick and, that Patriot way, I mention it so often because they get rid of guys right before they go downhill. And maybe Embiid has a couple more years left. But if you can get a haul for an MVP, I don't know, bro. I just don't know how long Embiid's going to be durable.
Hmm.
That's your problem with these big guys, with AD, with Embiid. Like these guys, I don't know, man. It's like they can't stay healthy. Um, so I don't know. That's just a take that I would think about as a GM. I would think about it. I would be
I,
open to the cost.
I would definitely
You know.
consider it, man. Maybe look to, like you said, get a haul back. Maybe look to build around Maxi. Get
Mm-hmm.
James, get Tobias, and even
Yeah.
Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Get them out of there. Or, see what you can do with James and Tobias and maybe build around Embiid and Maxi. But and it seems like we're speaking ahead as if they already lost, but
That does.
it just something
The
you got
light
to
is
consider.
dim.
I expected more.